Hi everyone. So it's going to be the online class for OPM538 for the topic 7, which is the OSH management programs. So we're going to cover seven topics, which is the OSH administration and information, OSH inspection and audits, OSH promotion programs, OSH trainings, housekeeping, or the 5S or 6S, personal protective equipment, and also chemical safety management. Basically, one of the best way to promote the safety is you design all the activities into the tools, machines, and technologies with which people interact in the workplace. And basically, you have the best, even though you have the best design in your safety management, but it definitely are not able to completely eliminate all the potential accidents. And it is also important to have all kind of prevention towards accidents and ensure that the employees are able to comply and conform to these procedures. And basically, the purpose of safety promotion is just to keep the employees can focus on what they are doing by making sure that they are making it in a safe way every day at work. And basically, the most important part, and if you recall in the chapter of safety management system, we talk about the safety policy that will be the baseline or the base point where the organization need to ensure in the context of safety policy. So it all begins there where the company publish all the policy that they have, and they need to make it clear on the safety practice and what should be expected by all levels in the organization in all in their overall experience at work. And this policy serves as the foundation which all the promotional efforts are built. For example, we look at this example by the Oculusa poultry processing, whereby the policy is that the company and the top management they are ensuring the safe and healthy workplace for employees, a safe and healthy product to customer, and safe and healthy environment for the community. And OPP or the Occupational Poultry Processing mentioned that they are committed to the safety on the job and off. So employees are expected to perform their duties with this commitment in mind. So basically, there are a few tips in order to formulate a good policy. So as you can see previously, it's not that long, just nice. And in fact, it must be short and simple. That will be better. And regardless of the length of format, there are a few things that there are a few message which is important to be conveyed throughout the policy, which is the company and the top management's commitment towards safety and health. And then the employees are also expected to perform their duties in a safe and health manner. And then the company's commitment to extend beyond the walls, which means it covers the customers and also the community. So the most important when you promote safety is doing it by example, which means if the employees are expecting the employees to follow all the rules or regulation or the policy, they need to show it by doing it themselves. Safety rules and regulation. Um, this is another important element in the promoting safety. After you have um, provided your policy, you need to work out on your rules and regulation. So basically, whatever policy you have established, you need to translate it into everyday action and behavior. So you need to make it by rules and regulations. So rules and regulation define the behavior that is acceptable and unacceptable from the safety and health perspective. And it's also important in the context of legal point of view, whereby it is the employer's obligation with regards to safety rules, whereby we look at the employers must have rules that ensure a safe and healthy workplace. So that is required by law. Employers must ensure that employees are knowledgeable about the rules, and employers must ensure that the safety rules are enforced objectively and consistently. So, um, next thing is about the inspection and audit. So basically, in the context of inspection and audit, after you have all the rules and regulation, and if you recall in the chapter of safety management system, inspection and audit is one of the important component. It is the systematic, independent, and documented process for obtaining all the evidences and evaluate whatever you have planned in your policy and the management system. So it's objectively determined to the extent to which define the criteria which are fulfilled. So you need to arrange all the document procedures to conduct the periodic audits in order to determine whether the occupational safety and health management system and its elements, if you recall the SMS chapter, all the sub elements and the sub elements are in place, adequate and effective in protecting the safety and health of employees and preventing incidents. Therefore, an audit program shall be developed. So it includes the design or designation of auditor competency, the scope of audit, the audit methodology, and also the reporting. The audit must include an evaluation of the organization occupational safety health and management system elements or a subset of these as appropriate, and must be conducted by a competent persons, both internal or external, to the organization who are independent of the activity being audited. The audit results and audit conclusion must be communicated to those responsible for corrective actions. So what will be audited? All these sub-element and elements of occupational safety and health management system. So if you recall in chapter 2, we look into the OSH policy, participation of employee, responsibility and accountability, the competence and training, the occupational safety management system documentation, communication, system planning, the prevention and control measures, and all of this listed in the particular page. Okay, now let's go back a bit about the rules. And when you establish your rules, you need to minimize the number of rules as much as possible and make sure that the language use of the rules established is clear and simple, not too ambiguous, or the word are the jargon used are not be understandable by everyone, or overly technical language. So write on the rules that are necessary, which is important, and do not nitpick and involve employees in the development of rules. So let the employees who are working and to participate in earlier development or establishment of your rules, and develop only rules that can and will be enforced, and use common sense in developing rules. So if you recall, we mentioned in establishing rules, you need the principle of objectivity and consistency in the enforcement. Objectivity means that the rules are enforced without bias, and consistency means that the rules are enforced in the same manner every time with no regards to any outside factors. Right. In another thing in the safety program, to promote safety is the employee participation. So this is why, because of employee definitely they know better because they are the one who deal with the hazard. They know where the hazard exists. Okay, and they are also the one who are going to follow the safety rules that are being established. So a fundamental rule of management is, if you want employees to make commitment, let them involve from the start. So one of the effective strategies for getting employees to commit to safety is let them involve in the development of the rules. Next is a program that can be adopted by organization is safety training. So this is one of the best way to promote safety in the workplace, which is to provide all the employees with ongoing safety training. And initial safety training should be part of the orientation process, which means when you start to um, reporting yourself for the first day of your organization, it's common that you will be briefed by the administration office about the orientation process. And then the subsequent safety training should be aimed at developing new, which means later on when you have worked for a few months, you will be added with some new trainings, which is a customized training for your specific work, and it will involve or it will develop further knowledge about the specific job that you are doing. Okay, the next program that is important in the safety is the suggestion programs. So suggestion program is simply like a box of recommendations where people can put in their comments about the safety related matters. So a well-run suggestion program, it gives two advantages, which they solicit input from the people who most likely to know where the hazard exists and involve the power of employees, which in turn give them the ownership of the safety program. So, a few criteria to make it effective is that all suggestions must receive informal response, all suggestions must be answered immediately, management must monitor the performance of each department so that they can generate and respond to suggestion, system costs and saving must be reported, the recognition and award must be handled promptly, which means you need to immediately address all the recognition, and then good ideas must be implemented. So sometimes when you have the boxes, people are suggesting giving good ideas but nothing has been no action has been taken. That's a problem, and personality conflict must be minimized. Next program which is important is the visual awareness. Okay, so visual awareness, as you can see in the background, we have all the signs, all the visual elements in promoting safety. What you did in your assignment, where you create your own posters to give awareness, that is also part of the visual awareness as well. So there are several rules of thumb that can help to ensure that these activities is effective, which is you need to change signs, posters, and other visual aids periodically, which means you need to change it from time to time, not just letting be the same visual aids in a long time. Why? Because it is left up for too long, it will begin to blend into the background, which means you see things commonly and then after some while it will be a common eyes to the um, people who see it and they might ignore it. Okay, and involve employees in developing the messages that are displayed on sign and poster, and employees are more likely to notice and heed their own message that those of others, which means if, for example, like the one you did, definitely you appreciate more about this work, so you definitely read it or your colleagues read it and they might get it into their mind and then recall about the safety matters along their working. um, Other than that, we move to the safety committees. This is also the requirement, if you recall, in the chapter 3 about the institutional framework, whereby the legal rules who required to have the committees. So this is another part of safety program where by having a committees, you have a better awareness about safety. Um, a formal structure through which employees and management can funnel concerns and suggestions about safety and health issues. The composition of the safety committee can be a major factor in committee success or failure. The most effective committees are those with a broad cross section, which means you have logistic department, you have engineering, you have marketing, you have research and development department. All of them are there to discuss about the safety matters. Another things to ponder is about the impact of the executive level, which means the bosses, the employees participate in the committee. Okay, there are positive or advantages or the pro and cons of them being in and participating. Of course, as mentioned, most of the time is that employers, when they participate, employees will lead by example, right? But however, sometimes there are also issue of people only react when they see their boss nicely, but when the boss are not there, they are not themselves. They do something else. Next is the safety committee meetings. Of course, when you have committee, you have meetings. So there are a few things, about 11 of them items, whereby need to be done when you have committee meetings. It include the call to order, the recording of attendance, preparation of or review and approve of previous minutes, discuss the old matters of business, discuss new matters of business, discuss any accidents or any agendas related to safety, discuss any near misses, report on inspection, the subcommittee work, special assignment, safety program, and so on, make special presentation, and make announcement and adjourn. So that are the common committee meeting for safety. So next is the employee management participation. Employee and management participation. This is basically an excellent way to promote safety to secure the cooperation between the management and the labor. So whereby when disagreement over safety procedure surface, the issue at heart is usually money, and employees are likely to favor procedure that enhance the workplace safety regardless of cost. However, the management, on the other hand, they want to weigh their cost versus the benefit of safety. However, sometimes employees rather than managers question the safety strategies. So when both of them are working closely, they can balance it through and have the right point of agreement. So next program that we have is incentives. So another way to promote safety effectively, incentive must be properly structured, right? So the following strategies that can be considered in enhancing the effectiveness of any incentive program, including define the objective. So it begin by deciding what is supposed to be accomplished. So you need to know what is the objective that you are planning for, your safety and incentive, or using incentive as safety program. What are the objectives? So develop a specific criteria whereby on what basis will the incentive be awarded, and the questions should be answered during the development of the program, and specific criteria define the type of behavior and level of performance that is to be rewarded, as well as the guideline for measuring the success. So you need to something that can be clearly or objectively measured. So make rewards meaningful. So for an incentive program to be effective, the reward must be meaningful to the recipient. So giving an employee a reward that he or she does not value will not produce any or does not produce the desired result. So to determine what types of rewards will be meaningful is necessary to involve employees. Okay, next is recognize. The only employees who will participate in incentive program know what incentive will motivate them. So in addition, they must have the feel with their program. If not, they're pointless to have such incentives. Keep communication clear, and then use non-monetary reward because it is more, or researchers find it more effective than giving money in promoting the desired result. An excellent resource for identifying non-monetary reward is the book of the 1001 Rewards and Recognition Field Book by the Nelson and Spitzer. And 7, reward by teams. It can be more effective than rewarding just individuals. This is because in modern industrial setting, it is only likely to be accomplished by a team rather than an individual. So other than team members may be present at the recognition given to an individual member, and this situation can cause the incentive to program to backfire. So let's look at the context of effectiveness when you have the incentive program. Effectiveness of incentive program or workplace is like the circumstances. First, it incentive program that target individual improve performance by 27%. Incentive program that look at teams improve performance by 45%. Incentive program have an equally positive impact on the quality and quantity of the employee performance. And incentive program work best when they are structured with employee input, and long-term incentives are more effective than short-term incentives, whereby it's identified that there are 44% of improvement in performance compared with 20% respectively. However, there are also problems. Um, for example, the employee taxes, whereby taxes must be paid on incentive provided to employees, and then this is usually in United States when they have some sort of bonus or incentive. Of course, they need to, or the amount that they receive are being taxed. And then injury hiding. Okay, when you are doing incentive due to want to be rewarded, you hide the real injury that they face. Next is unfair programs. Some programs award incentive based on yearly or quarterly. So if you have 356 days, and suddenly on the last day of the year, something happened. Um, Therefore, the whole year have been um, banished, or the incentive are not given just for one day reason. So it's much better if you have a daily basis programs. Insufficient budget, of course, it involves money. Therefore, sometimes when organizations are not able to, or they are just short of fundings, they have issues with their costing. Next program that they can have is competition. Again, similarly to the um, incentives, it may also backfire and do more harm than good if not monitored and planned carefully. And definitely, it can lead to cheating and hard feelings among co-workers. Of course, everyone would like to win, and sometimes when desperate, you may take certain improper measures. So, tips for safety competition. First is that you involve employees who will compete and planning programs of competition, and any possible time encourage competition among group rather than individuals, while simultaneously promote individual initiative within groups, and make sure that the competition is fair by ensuring that the resources available to competing teams are equitably distributed, and that human talent is as appropriately spread among the team as possible. Okay, next program that we have, okay, is company sponsored wellness program. So it is actually any program which is designed to to help and encourage employees to adopt healthier lifestyle. So include the diet, exercise under the supervision of appropriately qualified professional, stress management activities, and special activity designed to help high risk employees overcome lifestyle related behavior such as smoking, overeating, and this corporate wellness actually works. Okay, so participants who involve improve their health and the quality of life, and employers can cut costs and also generate goodwill. So, number of companies offering wellness program for employees, the numbers is increasing from time to time. However, the bad news is the participation is going down. Next is having a teamwork approach in promoting safety. So teamwork is a good way or the best way to get the work done. So to have a good effective team, of course, you need to have a supportive environment, need a good team player skill, role clarity among each other, clear direction, and team-oriented rewards and accountability. However, there are also problems where you need a concerted effort, which means the effort to put in having a good team is take a long time to be established. However, to make it fail, it just take just a short of time. So personnel changes. Okay, sometimes people come in and out of the organization, hence might result in the problems of the team development. And then participative decision making is inherent in teamwork, and this approach of decision making takes time, and the time is actually short. And poorly motivated and lazy employees can use the team to blend into the crowd and avoid participation, which means they do not really contribute to the group. The next way of promoting safety is persuasion or persuade. So persuasion can be viewed in the current context communication that is influential, motivating, and convincing. So there are two basic persuasion way to communicate, which is projective communication. So this is an assertive approach in which you attempt to change people's minds, gain their commitment, move them to action, or improve their attitude. And this is the approach that comes to mind for most people when the word persuasion is used. For example, using professional phrases such as what I have learned or how this worked when I tried. Okay, what you need to communicate is who you might think about or you might want to consider and avoid the use of you must. It is mandatory for you. Okay, so the word use is different. The next way is receptive communication. Okay, this is a more passive approach in which you use listening more than talking to remove barriers, elicit information, show the interest in opinions of others, and identify any hidden problems. So listen non-judgmentally and do not interrupt. Resist the temptation of becoming defensive or angry, no matter how angry the recipient may be. And take notes if necessary, and let recipient know in advance that you plan to take notes and that you will let them or her see everything you write down for validation. Let the recipient vent his own or her frustration without interruption and ask open-ended questions for clarification and paraphrase and repeat back in summary from what the recipient mentioned to you. Okay, the next program that we have for safety is housekeeping, or there are certain names being used by organization. For example, 5S. Some of them use 6S or Six Sigma. Some of them use Malaysia, especially for governmental agency, they are using EXA, EKSA. So objective is none other than to keep the workplace neat, clean and tidy all time, to instill basic responsibility into worker as part of job and personal responsibility at workplace. So there are certain advantage. It helps to minimize accident, injury and property damage, improve a work which is conducive and improve the employees' morale at work, improve all the processes, work productivity, and minimize wastes such as scraps, delays, idle time. Minimize work hazards such as slip, falls, fires, and congestion, near misses, improve company image, which is you have a better, beautiful office, foster better human relation with clean working environment. And how to plan this? You need to design a plan of skipping as part of the job. Carry out a skipping program on scheduled basis. Most of the agencies they are making it on Friday. And motivate housekeeping as it's the cheapest OSH program. It's free in fact, or you can only spend a few amount of money to ensure that this program is working. So in Japanese understanding or Japanese principle, there are 5S. So it stands for Siri or strategize to organize. Seiton, which is neatness. Seiso, cleaning. Shiketsu, standardize. Shizuke is self-discipline. The last program that we have is chemical safety program. So it refers to compliance to OSH UCSCHH regulation 2000 and a few procedures that you need to bound in chemical handling procedures. So in order to understand this, you need to open up the chemical material safety data sheet documents, which is available at the www.dosh.gov.my, whereby they have uploaded the content of how you need to read the and how to handle the chemical. All right, and that's all for this chapter. I hope you have learned and understand about the programs which we have in the safety matters. Okay, so we look at the policy, we look at the um, safety the rules, rules and guideline. We also look at the how to establish your rules and guideline. We look into the participation of employee in promoting safety. We look into the safety training, such as a program, visual awareness, safety committees, employee management participation, incentives, um, competition, company-sponsored wellness program, teamwork, and persuasion um, of the job safety, housekeeping, 5S, and capital safety program. With that, thank you very much. If you have any further question, feel free to communicate with me. With that, thank you very much. See you again. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.